edition rock and roll.
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's the Chase Carter Concept Podcast for Friday. What day is it? June 4th. June 4th. My brother's birthday's coming up. I know, he's getting, I know everybody's getting older. Nobody ever gets younger, do they? Except if you read a science article that I'm about to read you later in the show, that apparently you can stop your genes from dying, your DNA strands from disintegrating. And speaking of DNA strands, I'm playing Jurassic Park Evolution, and it's still really cool. Almost done. Got to get that game out of the way. But what's been going on with me? I'm glad you asked. I got upset at my girlfriend. Video game upset. We were playing Sea of Thieves. We're working on a ship. Our mast, another player shoots our mast down. And so the whole big mast, and if you don't know what a mast is, it's the big chunk of wood in the middle of a boat that holds up the sail. So if you can imagine the whole sail just falling, and we're sitting ducks, basically. We're just sitting there. So obviously you don't want to sit there. You want to be a mobile target, and you have to raise it up. You have to pull a rope, raises the mast up, and then another person has to come and hammer and fix it, basically. Hammer a piece of wood to hold it in place. A wooden plank to hold it in place. And so how this works is one person's on an elevated platform pulling the rope, and the other person has to go to the second deck to hammer the wood plank in. And so Corey, my wonderful, lovely, lovely girlfriend, the mast goes down. She's already on the second deck, so all she has to do is turn around and I told her turn around and hammer the wood plank in. And I'm on the top deck, the upper deck. Back in the upper deck. And so I'm pulling the rope. I get it all. I'm like, the mast is down, and I'm pulling the rope up. And then I see her come up to the top deck to help me pull the mast up. But the mast is already pretty much up. And so then it takes her a second or two to get back down to the mast on the second deck to hammer in the wood plank. And of course, those extra, 5 or 6 seconds. Now, granted, we were probably going to die anyway. But just her thought, because my job is to steer the boat, and if the mast goes down, I raise it. That's my job. Her job is to fire the cannons, which is way more fun. I know funner is not a word, but I almost used it. So she gets to attack it. She gets to do all the cool stuff. I have to just be sitting there driving the boat. All I see is a wheel, basically the whole time. And and then she complains that I'm like, and then she complains not wanting to be the captain, and then all this other stuff, that I'm too bossy. I'm like, I'm the captain. I'm supposed to say like what our plans are and what we should do. But anyway, it's just that game is so fun and stupid. If you're a couple and you're at all interested in video games, play this game together. It will make or break your relationship for sure. And so, but just that little delay from her going from the middle deck to the upper deck was just like, what kind of decision making? Like, I'm the one who's supposed to do this. So I'm like, what are you doing up here? Like, you're not supposed to be up here. What is going on? So we had a little talk. It was like, we need to have roles. Mast is down. I pull it up. I'm pulling up the mast. Pull up the mast. You hammer in the wood plank. It should be real simple. And then we got that worked out. And then apparently how I say things sounds like I'm complaining. And I'm not complaining really. I'm trying to talk in a way that gets me to understand what she was thinking, or her mind, her process, how she processes information. And I'm not good at the game. I'm not great at this game. And she's worse than I am. So we're already behind the 8 ball when we go out and sail. 9 times out of 10, we're outmatched. Let's just say that. 8 times out of 10. And so we have to use our like more clever tactics. We can't just, we're going to go on their boat and kill them and everything will be fine. We can't do that. We're not that good fighting and doing all that stuff. but it was fun getting to. It was interesting seeing her process information like it always is, and then she panics a lot. She gets too worked up. But the more she's introduced to those scenarios, I think the more she'll react accordingly. Obviously, practice. And so, what happened the second time? I was we had it where she kind of like shut down emotionally. I'm trying to think like what's she doing? We were we were in a sloop, which is a small 2-man sailboat, going up against a brig, which is a medium-sized 3-man sailboat. And so they have 2 masts, and we knock their masts down, and they're still, and we hit them with a whole bunch of cannons. And then I go and board them. I'm on their ship. I kill all 3 of them. Magically, these guys were. I got the jump on them. I killed all 3 of them. It was awesome. I felt really, really cool. And I'm sitting there like, Corey, shoot him. Shoot the ship. Like, fill them up with holes or whatever. Was it a brig or a galleon? Might have been a galleon, actually. I can't remember. My memory's terrible. But anyway, I go onto the ship. I think it was a galleon, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got onto the ship. My idiot brain got onto the ship. Was one of the rare instances where I killed everybody. And then she was firing at the ship, but from really, really far away. And so she wasn't hitting the ship very often. And so she's like, well, I wanted to stay at a safe distance. I'm like, I killed everybody. You don't need to worry about them. Like, sail the boat close to their ship, hit it with a bunch of holes, and then sail away. It's real, real simple. But because she doesn't like to be the captain and sail the ship, she doesn't know how, when she's on the boat by herself, it seems like she's completely lost. So I think we have to practice, and going through that and talking about it. She just shut down and didn't want to talk because of the way I was speaking to her. So it just sounds like you're complaining. I know that I suck. I'm like, we both suck, lady. We both suck. And at that time, we turned the game off. We got sunk. One guy killed 3 of us over. We had a third friend, and one guy killed us 3 times in a row. And then his buddies came and sunk our ship. So I'm like, we all suck. I'm not saying this isn't just you. This isn't a you thing. We need to communicate better. We need to figure out our roles individually. You need to figure out how to sail the ship better. In order for us to be better, you need to be better. And the same thing for me. If I make a mistake, I need to figure out why I made that mistake and go on. So this whole video, this stupid cartoon pirate video game is the only amount of tension we have in our relationship. And it's funny to see, because now I know if we ever get into a real confrontation or a real issue, it's so funny how when you have money, there's no real big arguments or fights. Like, the stress is really low when you live well beneath your means. I wonder if that's the case with like marriages. If 2 married people always live below their means, well beneath their means, are they happier? Because you don't need to worry about rent or car payments or anything like that. It's taken care of. That'd be an interesting study. But then why do millionaires get divorced, Is because they always want to like chase the next thing? I wonder. Anyways, sidebar. But it's just interesting seeing the way she reacts to things, how she processes information. And she also gives me information that is completely useless. Like, we were being chased by a bigger crew, bigger, better crew. And she's saying things. She's saying things that she thinks might happen. She's like, well, if they come over here to the right, we have to do this. And if they come behind us, we have to do this. And then we have to do this. We have to do that. What do you think they're thinking? I'm like, it doesn't matter. What are they doing? Is the ship pointing at us? Is it directly? Is it next to us? Is it close? What's it doing? Do you hear distant gun, cannon fire, which means in this game, you can get in a cannon and shoot yourself over to another ship, which is really fun. Like that. Do you hear distant cannon fire? Do you hear, we need important information, not what you think they're doing. What are they actually doing? Which, like, we have to be careful because they might do this. That is a legitimate thing. But if she rabbles off, 10 or 20 different scenarios, like, you're filling up the party chat, the comms, so to speak. The communication is all what they might do instead of what are they doing. So we just have to get better at communicating, I think. I think it's what it is. I recommend any relationship play this game. Any two people in a relationship. I think it'd be fun to see how everyone communicates and how well they get along. And then today she left me. This is going to be like a 20-minute thing on just her. She left me we used to do the laundry together. And then she told me that laundry stresses her out. Okay, laundry. And I've always folded the laundry. I just like folding laundry for some reason. I don't know why. I listen to a podcast and 30 minutes goes by and I fold her and my clothes. It's fine. Except for panties. I don't know how to fold panties correctly. I don't even think there is a way to fold those things correctly. Everything else, I got pretty good. And then bras, they have a cup in them or some kind of padding that I don't know what to do with. And then when you wash them, it gets all out of sort, and I don't know how to put it back to where it was originally. So that I gave up on that. And then the sheet, I've always had an issue with this. I don't understand. The sheets, the first bed sheet, the one with the elastic corners, the crinkly corners, those things are so hard to fold by yourself. So hard to fold properly by yourself. It's so much easier with two people. I need to Google how to. I just Googled how to fold a jersey because I got my apparently my cousin's, which my mom told me Pistol Pete was my cousin. I'm still kind of iffy on that. That could be like an old wives' tale. I don't know. I hope he is. That's still really cool if he is one of my cousins. Like how to fold a jersey properly to where it doesn't ruin the numbers or the name. And I never knew how to fold a basketball jersey. Granted, I don't wear basketball jerseys. I've stopped wearing basketball jerseys in like middle school. I realized, the player leaves the team every 5 years or so and goes to a different team. So why am I supporting them and buying their jerseys? Okay, got it. Not going to do it. I'm going to buy team attire. It's the exact opposite of how I feel or how I think most fans feel today. Most fans feel a loyalty to the player instead of the teams. At least that's what it seems like on the internet. I don't know. It is interesting. But where was I? And laundry. Folding clothes. Okay. Remembered how I got back to there. Jeez, Chase. So I wake up 9:30. I go to she asked me to do laundry like I did last week. She's like, how you did laundry last week, could you just do all of it again? She's like, I don't know if she said she was stressed or whatever, but I think this is going to be the new norm. We used to do it together on the weekends, but now I'm going to do it during the week when she's at work, which is fine. It's laundry. All you do, women, I don't understand why women complain about being stay-at-home mothers at all. Not even mothers, just stay-at-home people. Fun fact, you don't have to have kids. You can get with a guy who doesn't want children and then just be a stay-at-home wife and try all the different side businesses you want. Laundry is not, unless you have a bunch of kids, it's not difficult. You take your clothes, you separate them into colors, which I don't even understand why, because when I had to do my laundry real quick, I put whites and colors in there and it was fine. You just don't use any bleach. It's real simple. And everything, nothing runs or nothing crazy happens. I don't understand. And and the machine does it for me. So I load, it takes 2 or 3 minutes. In this washer, you have to let the water run a little bit high, dump your solution in, and then there's like 2 or 3 things she wanted in there. And so I was like, what do you want in there? Okay, I'll do that. Did it. And then you put your clothes in, and you come back 30 minutes, and then you put it in the dryer. What is so difficult about that? The most time-consuming process is the folding part. I don't understand how this stresses people out. I don't. It's the same thing with, of course, I think she realizes that I want to make her day less stressful because I'm a great boyfriend. And a little pat on my back. So I ask her, what's the most annoying thing about your day? Other than me, what is the most annoying thing about your day? She's like, I've always hated doing dishes. She's like, I like cooking, but I hate doing the dishes. Because we used to cook together. And then I used to do the dishes. Well, then I was like, well, you cook then, because you're a good cook, and she likes. I'm a guy, and so I don't think about dinner until I'm hungry. She thinks about dinner when she wakes up in the morning. I'm not like that. She takes frozen meat out, puts it in the fridge, lets it thaw for the day. I don't know if I'll ever evolve to be that kind of um, forward thinking person. I'm like, what do we have? Oh, a box of macaroni and cheese. Okay, what else do we? I have some frozen, turkey meat or whatever. I'm gonna make little balls and then put. It happens within the 5 minutes after I realize I'm hungry, and then 5 minutes later I have a plan for dinner. But she plans it, which I appreciate. I appreciate a lot. I've been eating a lot healthier, a lot better meals because of her. And so she cooks, and long story short, I do the dishes and she cooks. And so sometimes I'll help her cook, which is, I don't care. I don't mind cooking. And so, but now she's doing the whole, it's stressful with the laundry. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do the laundry. It's not a big deal. Don't care. I got it. I do the laundry better probably anyway. Your panties and stuff, I can't fold. You fold those things. And so, I've been doing the laundry. And then today she leaves me a note about how to do the laundry, about how she likes things mixed. She already told me. I already did it correctly 100%. I've been doing it fine. And then today she leaves me a note. Like I did it wrong before. The last, which confused me, she, so her panties, she had to soak, I guess, a few of them in some kind of liquid. I don't know. I think this is some superstitious thing. I don't know if this is some witchy, like astrology thing. Like if you're born in, July, then you have to soak your panties in salt on this, the third week of what I have no idea. So she soaks her underwear, I guess, to make them still feel nice or whatever. I have no idea. And girls, hey, girls, guys don't care about how your panties feel. Maybe you do, but guys don't care. Guys don't even care if you at all. As long as there's no stains on them, we don't give a shit. So maybe that's what she was trying to get rid of. So she soaks her panties, and then she puts her pant in this little bowl, her little soak bowl, and then she she emptied the water out, and then she put the bowl in the hamper. And so I look at this bowl. So I open up the hamper to take the clothes out, and there's a bowl, a ceramic bowl with panties in there. I didn't know they were wet. So I'm not going to I'm not going to just grab, panties. I know I'm weird. I'm a guy that doesn't, you know, do all that stuff. So I don't find it attractive. For some reason, I don't find panties. The weirdest men are the type that grab someone's panties and sniffs them. I never understood that. You see it in porn all the time. Some guy gets caught sniffing a girl's panties and then they hook up. I'm like, I don't want to smell the thing you were walking around and sweating in all day. I don't. It's disgusting. Hey, let me smell your socks, by the way. I don't get it. But everyone has their kink. Just baffles me. So I see this bowl, and so I take the bowl out and I just set it on the table and I do the rest of the laundry. She wanted me to throw that in there, but she she knew they were wet and she didn't want to put the wet clothes in with the dry clothes and then have me grab all that. So I messed up that part. But other than that, everything was fine. Because I've never washed panties before. So I don't know. I don't know what, like, who does she think she is leaving me a note? You know? I don't get it. Then I go out to do laundry today and someone else is using the machine. So I was like, okay, can't. Okay. Laundry's not going to get done before the boss comes home, and then she's going to be real upset. But yeah, that's been my week. Video game arguments. Let's see. Video game arguments, laundry. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Let's get into fun news articles that I found interesting for this week. Oh, basketball. That's right. Basketball happened this week. Lakers just lost. I don't care. I don't care at all. People are upset. You know, we're in San Diego, a lot of fake LA Laker fans. The same thing one of my friends was like, she was like, I'm a huge Laker fan. I've been a Laker fan since day one. I was all, name three. I was like, name two Lakers. I was like, I would say three. Name two Lakers. She's like, LeBron James, and she didn't know any other ones. So you're not a Laker fan, not at all. Never was, never will be. What do you mean? What do you mean you're a Laker fan? You mean your parents or your brothers like the Lakers, so you're gonna cheer along with the same. Okay, fine, that's fine. But no, fan stands for fanatic. There's different levels. No, you have to know more than one player's name to be a fan. I like the Chicago Cubs. When they do well, I tune in. But I'm not a fan of the Chicago Cubs. I can't name one person on the Chicago Cubs. And I've played I got MLB The Show to specifically learn and play the franchise mode to specifically learn players' names. And I played it for 3 weeks and I still can't remember some of these people's names. I'm not a fan. Stop calling yourself a fan. Say you like them. Oh yeah, I like the Lakers. I like rooting for the Lakers. Not a fan. Fans are something completely different. Completely different. I don't have to know the ins and outs of the sport. No, I don't ask you. Name two players on the team. I didn't ask you to name their starting five last night. I didn't ask you any of those questions. What's LeBron James's PER from the past five? I didn't ask any of those questions. Name two people on the team. Real simple. Real simple. So that, if you're a fan, means you watched a bunch of games. I'll get off of it. I'll get off of it. I'll get off of it. I apologize. Just certain things. People are like, oh yeah, I really like. Name one thing about that. Oh, I don't like. I hate Biden. I hate Biden, or I hate Trump. Name something they did that you don't like. Well, there's a lot of things that were said, and just all this generic shit. We're let this, cards fall, or the chips fall where they may. Like you have no idea what policies have they implemented that you don't like. Name them, and then why they're bad, or you just don't like them because that's what like the news channel that you watch says you should think. Have your own opinions. Freak out. This is a funny article. CNN Travel. A man traveled cross country to mine the diamonds for his girlfriend's engagement ring. He dug up a 2.2 carat beauty. This white guy with a huge, cool brown and red beard. His beard is awesome. I will give him his beard. He's got fantastic eyebrows. If anyone has caterpillar eyebrows, I need to know who does his eyebrows because I need to fix mine. Always had a unibrow going on. It's always uneven. But, I'm a guy, so I don't really care if it's that uneven. A Washington man dreamed his whole life of finding a raw diamond to create a one-of-a-kind engagement ring for his future spouse. Dreamed his whole life? Or so he had this idea before he met the woman, so the woman didn't inspire this idea. So women aren't that important. He just wanted to find a raw diamond. But he didn't know that it would actually become a reality. Well, of course, you're a man, and if you think of something and you actually put forth hard work, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. So he looks like a lumberjack. what it looks like. Christian Liddell told CNN that the idea of mining his own gems for an engagement ring was planted in his head in middle school, but he had no idea how to accomplish the task. As he got older, as everyone does, he said, I added that part. He said he discovered just how difficult it is to find raw gems in the U.S. However, then Linden's coworker told him about Crater of Diamonds State Park in Arkansas 3 years ago. He knew his dream could become a reality and had been dating his girlfriend, Desiree, for 2 years. And he knew the ring would be for her. So that's a kind of a cool little diamond thing. That's when I started planning the trip and planning to actually go out and do this, finding out it was possible to actually do it. So I started researching the diamonds. He watched videos from those who were successful in finding diamonds in the park and tried to get as much information as he could before deciding to plan his trip. His friend Josh, I know Josh, who was known about Linden's dreams from the beginning, decided to join him on the adventure. Free trip, hey! As they planned, Linden built their own mining equipment while his girlfriend was at work so he wouldn't have to explain the real purpose behind the road trip. She knew I was going on a road trip, but she didn't know what we were doing. She probably thought you were going out to cheat on her. And then she cheats on you and you come back with this diamond. I created this from the earth. I made it for you. And she's like, babe, I have something to tell you. You remember Rod? Yeah. I thought you were. I told her we would be visiting some state parks and some national parks. But other than that, she didn't know we were going to find gemstones. Linden planned to propose. I can read. Linden planned to propose to Desiree when he got back and didn't want to tip her off. On May 1st, Linden and Josh started the adventure and made their first stop in Montana to mine sapphires, just in case they ended up empty-handed. I don't know if he ended up empty-handed, like two E words back to back, like separated by up, wound up empty-handed. I think it would be easier. Anyway, handed when, look at me being a critic of the words when I can't even read. I thought propose was purpose. After a successful first dig and a day in Yellowstone, the two arrived in Arkansas on May 7th, hoping to find a needle in the haystack. The next 2 days were unsuccessful, even after trying to get untouched material. What does that mean? Does getting untouched material give you an advantage? I don't know. What does that mean? Then you have to explain what I'm going to breathe. The next day, they decided to try a different approach and just mine the surface of the gravel. It was towards the end of the day. It was the last 2 carts, and we were started throwing materials in the screens. Then something amazing happened. When he flipped his tool, there on top was a yellow diamond weighing over 2 carats. I started shaking right away. I was shaking so bad, I waved my buddy over. I moved my hand, and he saw it. He was in such a state of shock. He let Josh grab the gem, but put it in a Ziploc bag because he was afraid of dropping it. I never expected anything like that. I was just hoping to find just one small one, so I could put it in the ring and say, hey, I mined that diamond. I mined that diamond out. That is pretty cool. He's got a fantastic beard. He can lose the diamond in the beard. They immediately went to the Discovery Center to report what they had found, and the staff confirmed the size of the yellow diamond. The 2.2 carat gem is the largest that's been found at the park since last October, when a visitor from Fayette, Arkansas, discovered a 4.49 carat yellow diamond, according to a news release, on the park. Linden's diamond is light yellow with a triangular shape and a sparkly metallic luster. Like most diamonds from the park, it contains few inclusions. I don't know what inclusions are, making it a one-of-a-kind, Assistant Superintendent Drew Edmonds said. The day after Linden's arrival at the park, he and his girlfriend went mushroom hunting. First of all, these hippies, mushroom hunting, they're stuck in the ground. Mushroom hunting, stop calling them hunting. Stop. No, hunting is when you're trying to kill something, to grab something that can move away from you. Mushroom hunting. Like I went tree hunting. And during their walk in the woods, Linden pulled out the diamond and proposed. She said yes. Yay! The two are looking for someone to design and build the ring to compose the gems Linden mined on the trip, but he said they aren't in any hurry. Well, of course not. You're hippies. Why would you be in a hurry? But that's it. You didn't. How much is a 2.2 carat yellow diamond worth? Let me find it. 2.2 carat diamond worth. Let's see here. 2.2 carat diamond worth. A 2.02 fancy pink radiant shaped diamond, yellow. Yellow diamond, raw yellow diamond. Raw yellow. I'm sure the color. About 16. A good value, a good quantity, 2 carat diamond should cost you around $16,000 to $21,000. Images of 2. Oh, first of all, that diamond is way more than 2.2 carats. Jesus, that's like a freaking ruby. Good Lord. Yeah, so he found a diamond that's worth approximately, but then the 2.2 carat, when they fit it, they're going to shave it and cut it in different shapes inside, unless they're going to just put the raw carat. That'd be cool, just a diamond ring that's just a raw, just gems just sitting there, like how it came out of the earth. Especially these people are hippies. They go mushroom hunting. They would love a raw. You know what I'm talking about. She's not fancy. She doesn't want it all, specially cut up for her. She wants it raw. Excuse me. And so phys.org. Yeah, phys.org. Resetting the biological clock by flipping a switch. What does that mean? The biological clock present in almost all cells of an organism. I love reading these because it just shows me how little I know. Of course, that's pretty much anything that I read shows me how stupid I am. As more and more evidence emerges that clocks in certain organs could be out of sync, there is a need to investigate and reset these clocks locally. What does that mean? Scientists from the Netherlands and Japan introduced a light-controlled on and off switch to a kinase inhibitor, which affects clock function. This gives them control of the biological clock in cultured cells. Cultured cells. They've traveled a lot. Clock in cultured cells and explanted tissue. I wish I knew half of these words. They published their results on May 26th, and the life on Earth has evolved under a 24-hour cycle of light and dark, hot and cold. As a result, our cells are synchronized to these 24-hour cycles. Okay, I'm not going to try to say his name. Professor of Radiology of Chemistry at the University of Medical Center in Groningen. Our circadian clock is regulated by a central controller in the in a Celsius nucleus. Hold on. Controller, a region to the brain directly above the optic nerve, but all of our cells contain a clock of their own. These clocks consist of oscillation in the production of the breakdown of certain proteins. Light switch. So you can reset the clocks. The organs have some. The time zone matters. That's weird. I don't even know how to understand that. Light switch. It becomes increasingly clear that these clocks can be disrupted in organs or tissues, which may lead to disease. And of course, we all know about jet lag, which is caused by travel across time zones, or problems that are caused by the switch. Yeah, but time zones, jet lag is because you arrive somewhere and it's a different time of day. And the light's different. So you go from daylight to darkness and your body's like, what the fuck? We know very little about how our cells coordinate these oscillations or how it affects our body. For example, one kidney is out of phase with the rest of the body. Okay, so if your kidney thinks it's daytime, I don't understand. Developing this adaptation took Kolosowski several years, but the result was well worth the effort. It was a real scientific tour de force and a beautiful example of interdisciplinary cooperation. Together with their Japanese colleagues at a university, the scientists, I'm not even going to try that, Nogawa, the scientist from the University of Groningen showed how the cycle of cultured cells was extended from 24 to 28 hours by treatment with a that's one word, long day sin. I don't know. What does that mean? What does long day sin mean? I'm going to Google this right now. Long day sin. Long day sin inhibits the active of long day sin results in the lengthening of Krinnikin periods and cell-based. Okay, so I still don't know what long day sin means. Okay, cool. Thank you for not explaining any of that. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying scientists figured out how to get all of your organs on the same clock schedule, but I don't understand how an light activated drugs such as longdacin will probably only be used to treat serious conditions. So they just extended. So everything's on a 24-hour cycle. So they extended the cycle to 28 hours of your organs, and we can actually reach quite a few organs with light, for example, with an endoscope. So are they really talking about shining light on your organs? Or is that just me? I don't know. That one's a loss. That one's a loss. I have no idea. I don't want notifications from your website, okay? DNA evidence from this is a new article. Hopefully I can understand this one. This one should be interesting. A lot more interesting than the other one. We're gonna get light into the body, and then your organs. Guess what? Your organs are gonna reset. You're gonna reset back to normal, and they're gonna be on the same. What? The reason I'm sick is because my lungs think that it's noon, and my kidney thinks it's 4 p.m. Like what? What's going on? DNA evidence from a mass grave suggests bubonic plague had long-term effects on human immunity genes. Well, no, yeah, the bubonic. Yeah, everyone, surprise! The bubonic plague had long-term effects on people. Yeah, no shit. Okay, scientists examined DNA from mass grave of plague victims in Germany. Are you sure they were from the bubonic plague and not some other mass grave? While examining DNA from bones of a 16th century bubonic plague victims in the German town of Elwegen, scientists discovered the first evidence that evolution may have driven immunity to the disease among later inhabitants of the city. Scientists examining the remains of 36 bubonic plague victims from a 16th century mass grave in Germany have found the first evidence that evolutionary adaptive processes driven by the disease may have conferred immunity on later generations from the region. We found that innate immune markers increased in frequency in modern people from the town compared to the plague victims. Well, yeah. No. What? I mean, the people who were immune to it survive. This suggests that these markers might have evolved to resist the plague. Plague or plague? 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 The study done in conjunction with the Max Barber in Germany, published online today. The researchers collected DNA samples from the inner ear bones. Oh, makes me want to. You know when you feel like you have earwax? That's what like something in there. Individuals in mass graves in the southern German city of Elgwen. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings city, which experienced bubonic plague outbreaks in the 16th and 17th centuries. Then they took DNA samples from 50 current residents of the town. They compared their frequency spectra, the distribution of gene variants in the given sample for a large panel of immunity-related genes. Okay, so you found out that the people that lived there since the 60s, but, or is that just everybody? Does everybody have the resistance genes to the bubonic plague? Because it was so rampant that everyone who made it out hooked up and then passed on their genes to the next people? Hey, surprise, surprise. People who survived the bubonic plague have an immunity to it, and they passed on that immunity to the next generation, which I thought was already science, which I'm pretty sure was already science. I'm not too sure. That's a weird looking plane. Here's another one. CNBC.com. American and Southwest put off plans to serve alcohol after passenger disruptions of assaults on board. So now you have to fly these shitty airlines without alcohol. Could you imagine being an alcoholic or just hate flying? And this is a classic example of the few ruining it for the rest of us. It's the same thing with, fans at a sporting event. One fan throws a water bottle, and then, you know, fans have to hear the next day, have fans gone too far? No, no. This idiot should just be, arrested, in jail, and that's it. Banned for life, arrested. He should go to jail for a little while, and that's it. You can't be doing that. That's what should happen. Okay? That's exactly what should happen. Every single time. Fans throw anything or dump anything on people or spit on, especially spitting on, go to jail. Real quick, real easy. Because if you did that to somebody else, you'd go to jail in real life. Real simple. The popcorn thing, I don't know if you dump someone, if you're going to go to jail for that. I think cops would just laugh that off. But you can't throw anything, even though if it's harmless. But I don't get how so people in they understand. I wonder how many security guards are on these planes now. So you would think that people would like look back and like, oh, these are just crazy outliers. These are just crazy people. Let's not take away the rights of everybody else. It's the same thing with COVID. 500 to 600,000 people died in the United States. There's 350, 60 million people. 32 million caught the disease. So 10% caught the disease, and even it's like 0.0 something percent died from the disease. And now everyone can't work, has to, work from home, which is fine. This is actually, you know, some places are finding it more beneficial because big companies are just like, we don't have to buy or lease this big building, this office space. People can just work from home. Okay, that's going to save us money. And that extra money they're saving isn't going to go to their employees. It's going to go to the CEO. But that's besides the point. He's like, oh, you made us this. You get your bonus. How much is the bonus? 32 million. So, but it's just interesting how these companies are seeing these outliers, these rare instances. Like how many times, it's the same thing with police officers. How many times do police officers get it right? How many police officers act the correct way? How many surgeons do the right thing and don't have accidents and don't mess up? How many teachers don't, how many Catholic priests don't molest children? Probably a lot. It's just like the minority that gives everyone a bad name. How many men have hit their wives or cheated on their wives? How many women have cheated on their husbands, divorced them, and took half of their things? A lot. But in the percentages, probably a lot less. On the woman thing, probably 100%, but that's just me being biased. Don't understand. Why are you taking away alcohol from everybody? But that's just going to get people to bring their own alcohol on board. Southwest Airlines and American Airlines said they'll be holding off on resuming alcohol beverage services after a flight attendant was assaulted, and the industry grapples with the surge of other passenger incidents on board. The Southwest flight attendant suffered injuries to her face and lost 2 teeth. Was she old? Was she old though? Did she take care of her dentals? Was she dentally aware? After she was assaulted by the passenger, were they already loose? According to a May 24 letter from the Southwest Flight Attendants Union, President Lynn Montgomery to CEO Gary blah, 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 April, whatever, there were 477 passenger misconduct incidents. What does that mean, misconduct? Does that mean they actually fought you or they didn't want to wear a mask? And they're like, well, we're this mask, that bandana that guy's wearing is not protecting him. So what am I doing with this mask on? It's the same thing. It's supposed to circulate air. CDC says the air in the airplane is different. Which I don't even understand. It's filtered, so it's always moving. So it's more protected. It doesn't sit there. Well, if it's always moving, isn't it always going to be moving in my eyes or in my mouth? Don't I want something to like sit? I don't understand. Unless you're sucking all that shit out. Doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, I'm stupid, so a lot of things don't make sense. American Airlines said it won't sell alcoholic beverages in the main cabin on the main one. I love when I find out. I love when I read these in the main cabin, but the first class customers, the ones we really care about, the ones who have their shit together. Basically, they're saying, all you poor sons of bitches, you're not getting alcohol. You fucking animals. You're not getting anything. Hey, sir, who paid, $2,500 for this ticket, you can have as much alcohol as you want. Jesus. So the people in the back who really need the alcohol to get through the flight because they're crammed in there like chickens right on top of each other. Over the past week, we've seen some of these stressors create deeply disturbing situations on board aircraft. Yeah, because you're telling people what to do. You're telling people, you're kicking parents off with a 3-year-old child who won't wear a mask. Hey, you can't tell a 3-year-old kid what to do besides holding him down, unless you're going to inject him with like some sedate him, some sedative. As alcohol sales are added back into this already volatile environment, you can surely understand our concern, Montgomery wrote in the letter. I'm so concerned over these customers. See, we've shit on these customers for decades and decades because there's basically like 4 or 5 actual airlines, so you really don't have a choice when you fly because it seems like they're all in it together, but this is besides the point. They really only care about their first class, customers. And so we're just going to feed them alcohol. And then when they get rowdy, we're going to kick them off the plane, even if when they don't want to wear a mask. When they don't want to wear a mask, but I've been vaccinated and everything's fine. You still have to wear one. I don't understand. There was some, this is weird. This is just a weird story. This is about New York Post. Dalton parents enraged over masturbation videos for first graders. First graders. Last fall, parents at the posh $55,000 per year Dalton school got wind of their first graders being taught sex education lessons that included masturbation. In first grade, 5th grade is what, 10? So they're 6? You're 6 years old learning, you're 6, and you're learning about masturbation. Oh, who last month led a controversial and explicit porn literacy workshop at another elite prep school they complained to school administrators, but who were told they had simply misinterpreted what Dalton's now notorious health and wellness educator, Justine, of course it's a woman, the kids I have to validate my existence. So what's not being taught in schools to first graders? Sex. That's where I can make a difference. Go build something go invent something. Teaching first graders about jerking off. That's great. Sometimes no, that's to their parents. Leave it to their parents. Teach them ABCs, teach them how to put a sentence together, which my teachers didn't because it's very difficult for me to put one together. And this is your job, to make sure the kids can count and can spell and to treat each other like decent human beings, okay? And don't molest them. Those are your 4 jobs. You can teach them about sex later. And by the way, they have the internet now. So teachers for young kids, your job's not that important anymore. Basically, all the stuff they can do, they can teach themselves now, which a lot of people are learning that you don't even need college anymore. All the college courses, you can go to YouTube and listen to people who have those degrees talk about what's important in their jobs and concentrate on those things. Doesn't make any sense. Now, all a college degree is, you paid a lot of money to go there for 3 years. Okay, got it. You wrote a lot of papers. What does that mean? Do you have any people skills? Do you know how to, negotiate deals? Well, I wrote an expose I wrote a 300-page report, does that even translate to the workforce? Or is this just academic nonsense that is fun to think about, but actually doesn't have any purpose in the real world? Yeeks. It's unbelievable. Hey, how come sometimes my penis, this is what it says, how sometimes my penis gets big sometimes and points in the air? First of all, they all don't point in the air. Some are crooked. So now, if someone has a little crooked peener, they're going to feel less than. They're going to feel neglected. Hey, mine hooks to the left. What about? And then the teacher asks to see it, and then you got a big old problem because it's a health concern. The boy nods and says, sometimes I touch my penis because it feels good. Then the little girl character chimes in, sometimes when I'm in the bath or my mom puts me to bed, I like to touch my vulva too. First grade. Look, I'm not in first grade. I'm not even too sure what a vulva is right now. I'm going to Google Volga. Volga. I don't know how to say the right word. Vulva. Plural, vulva, derived from the Latin word for wrapping or covering, consists of the external female sex organs. The vulva includes mons pubis or whatever, a whole bunch of words, labia, so it's clitoris. Vulva is your clit. I've heard of clitoris. That's the only one I know of. That's it. Vaginal opening, hymen. I've heard of hymen. The urinary meatus. So many fun words. Consists of external female. So it's just the external part of a woman's vagina. That's what that apparently means. I'm learning something. Why don't you teach me this? They also taught lessons about consent. While one mother conceded that teaching the concept of consent can be valuable in protecting children from abuse, another said telling kids that their own parents or grandma should not touch them without permission, first asking for permission, is extreme. Literally, parents are supposed to say to their kids, "May I hug you?" ? My mother said another. Well, first of all, have you ever been like your grandma, grabbed your cheeks or like patted your head, all that annoying shit? If this stops it, I'm kind of for this. I'm kind of for that. Don't touch me, grandma. It hurts. When you pinch my cheeks, it hurts. I don't like it. My grandmother never squished my cheeks that I remember. Maybe because I wasn't fat. I wasn't a fat little kid. I was fat when I was a little baby, an infant. But and then when I was about 5 months, I remember my brother made fun of me for being fat, and I remembered it because my brain capacity is amazing. And I started working out when I was 5 months old. That's what happened. Lost a whole bunch of weight. I mean, I lost weight before I could walk. So all of you fatties out there, what's your excuse? I'm paying $50,000 to these assholes to tell my kids to not let their grandfather hug her when he sees them. Kids have no less than 5 classes on gender identity. This is pure indoctrination, a Dalton mother said. This person should absolutely not be teaching children. Ironically, she teaches kids about consent, yet she has never gotten the consent from parents about the sexual explicit and age inappropriate material about transgender to first graders. We are furious, a Dalton mother told the Post. We are horrified to learn this was shown to our first grade 6 and 7-year-olds. Yes, I was right about the age. All right. I don't know how, when people are like, oh, I'm in 4th grade, so I'm this age. I'm like, I have no, 5th grade, I know it's just 10. And then I work my math from there. Without our knowledge of, I didn't know, one of my nephews, I forgot how old he was. And like, he's in this grade. Don't you know he's in this grade? So I was like, I don't have children. I don't know how all the grades work. That's not, and first of all, if I didn't have kids and I knew all like, oh, he's 7th grade, so he's this old, I would be a creep. It's good that I don't know or care about children. Looking at me like I'm weird. You're the weird one. I don't know who I'm talking to. And I just pointed to the wall like I'm actually talking to someone. The second Dalton mother said, I'm not against all sex education, but it's not cool to keep parents in the dark about it. So they didn't even tell the parents about this. Yeah, shouldn't you have to get the parents' permission? And people have to opt into this kind of thing? I think I remember when I was in high school when they did sex education was the first thing I saw was in high school. And we had to get like a parent's permission slip to be taught these, your kids are going to see a dick, or it was the drive thing. It was the like click it or bleed, blood asphalt, red asphalt or whatever, where they show actual um, car crash scenes of people with their brains all out. And you're like, oh, okay, don't drive fast. Got it. Got it. I'm good. What Larry Bird considered. There was one other thing I want. Oh, okay, look, this, I don't know if this is real. I'm not too sure if this is real. This looks like there's this bird claw from a giant extinct bird. It says extinct giant bird claw with the flesh still on it resurfaces online. The claw belonged to a moa, an extinct flightless bird from New Zealand. This claw is it looks like a giant like ostrich. This thing looks like it belongs in a like in the new Jeepers, like saying in Jeepers Creepers sequel. And speaking of Jeepers Creepers, I've tried my girlfriend doesn't like scary movies, and she's never seen Jeepers Creepers before. At least she says she saw it, but didn't like it. So I'm not too sure exactly what's going on with her memory, or she just didn't want to see it. I was like, watch 10 minutes of it. It's not a scary movie. It's just like a monster movie. It's not a ghost horror type thing. It's this ridiculous monster that, terrorizes people or whatever. But it's like a cool bad guy kind of thing. It's not like Freddy Krueger where he's in your dreams and he's hello about, he's not doing all that stuff. He's just this big creepy, giant monster that coming after people. So she watches the first 10 minutes of it. And I was like, just watch 10 minutes. Just watch 10 minutes and we'll see how you feel. Like during the daytime when it's not, before the sun goes down, so it's not scary. So she watches the first 10 minutes of it and she watches the scene where the big truck comes behind the two teenagers or two 20-somethings-year-olds, honks at them, whatever, drives past. I'm like, holy crap. And then they see, they go by this house and they see the truck and then they see the monster throw like these two body looking things down a pipe. And then the Jeepers Creepers comes after him, drives them off the road, which I don't understand why Jeepers just didn't kill them right there on the side. There's just nobody around. Now, going back and watching this movie, just how stupid it is. And that's the disconnect between movie. I know I'm getting off on a tangent. I was going to go about this New Zealand bird scientist, and I got off on Jeepers Creepers. And this is how I'm going to end the podcast, and I don't care. But the decisions, when people make illogical decisions in movies, like those scary movies, they cease to be scary to me because that decision, so they see what decision I'm talking about is the decision to go back to the pipe that they saw the thing throw the bodies down and see if they're alive or dead. So they go back and they put themselves in more danger. It's like when you see horror movies and the killer's in the house and the person runs up the stairs. People are like, why are you running upstairs? You can't go upstairs. You can get out from an upstairs window. She's not running up 37 flights of stairs and then she's like stuck. You can just jump out the window. It's real simple. How badly do you want to live? In this kind of instance, and if you've encountered this, superhuman creature before, jump out the goddamn window. Real simple. It's not a human and you're gonna, shoot them twice and they're gonna be dead and you're like in a little corner and you're waiting to ambush them. It's not that. If you shoot Jason Fibers, he's just gonna keep walking. But anyway. But so but that's what makes these movies not scary. And I tried to communicate that with her. I'm like, this movie's not scary because this is basically an altered timeline. Because what makes it scary is you envision yourself as those people. But as those people, they get ran off the road by this thing after they see it throw two bodies, what they know are bodies, because they're going back for them. They know that this guy basically kidnapped, possibly killed two people, threw him down a pipe. and then drove off. But he drove off in the opposite direction, so he's not driving back. It's like, you don't think he has a back way to the house? You don't think he's coming back there? And why did he leave you in the field to begin with? He saw you watch him throw these 2 dead bodies down there. So the fact that he didn't just kill you right there should pick up your antennas. You don't have any medical experience. So even if this person, you saw blood on the towels that these people are wrapped up in and rope. So are you you're gonna help them? The chances of them being 100% after being just thrown down a pipe, head first, by the way, are slim to none. You get to a phone, you call the police, and you get police out there immediately. That is the best chance for you and those people to survive. But they don't do that, do they? The brother is like, we need to go back. Then you could walk as the girl. The girl should have drove in the opposite direction of that house. Get a phone. Now, granted, I wouldn't have went the way he went down that road. I would have turned and went the other direction. I would have went back the way I came, which is past the house. Hey, brother, you want to do it? Drop you off, and then I'm going to go. Are you really concerned? Maybe wait a little bit. Is he alive? Is he alive? But I'm not doing all that stuff. But you have to go back because Jeepers drove off in the way you guys were going originally. You don't want to drive towards him. That's bad. You want to go back the other way. Go back to a cell phone. Go back to a phone. And I hate the whole the phone's always out of battery, and the lighter, the cigarette lighter is out. It's broken, and so we can't call for help. Like, what? Huh? Come on. Could we just have you can call the police and have them go, oh yeah, well we're gonna get the monster. We just saw this big monster. Blah blah blah. Okay, prank caller. We'll send somebody out to investigate because they don't believe it's real, and then the ranger or whatever gets killed. Do that. That's a more realistic thing. They think it's kids. Hey, just in case it's not, we get a lot of prank calls. Go see, and then he doesn't report. Then the police get involved. But the fact that they can't call, everything's always broken or out of batteries. The kid who has no backstory of him being able to fight. They don't have a weapon. They don't have anything. They got ran off the road almost twice by this guy, basically. And he's a potential killer. And you're going to go back to his house? No. Nope. Wrong. But there's this giant bird claw. If you want to Google it, it's insane looking. I want to, extinct giant bird claw with flesh still on it. Resurfaces online. This thing looks like it's from Jeepers Creepers. And they've back in March, first-person Halo shooter video game that features MOAs had a cross promotion with the chip maker of Pringles that developed a limited edition MOA burger. GameSpot reported. It looks kind of delicious, actually. But this bird, I just couldn't imagine a giant bird grabbing you with this thing. This looks insane. And to just be torn open by these hooks and claws. Ugh. Just my imagination go. See, I get scared over that. I don't get scared over, I get scared over extinct creatures killing me. And she gets scared over a Jeepers Creepers guy with an Undertaker trench coat and hat. That's what she gets scared by. Doesn't make any sense. Nobody makes any sense. We're humans. That's the end of the podcast. If you listen to all of this nonsense, what is wrong with you? You need to question your life choices. But if you're going to keep making these stupid decisions, I'll be here next Friday. And thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next week. You got this shit knocking low.